Okay, so predictions for round four of the SI playoffs, which will be starting on Friday because we're going to the main stage event with the final six remaining teams. So, to start, I just want to talk about yesterday's games because predictions for those personally went terrible. I definitely went with like the upsets and the teams I want to win. To be honest, I've been doing that a lot of this bracket, and after like going through this bracket so far again, I would say like all of these games, like realistically, we've had genuinely zero upsets. Like there's been not one match here where there's like a team that is considered um to many like to be way worse than another team, but they pull out the win. Like realistically here, like the hardest games to predict here are like you know the mid teams versus the mid teams. Like Heretics versus Auction is pretty hard to predict, I'd say. Um, and then Furia Falcons, I would say these teams aren't mid. This is more of like a two really good teams. That's really hard to predict. Um, that also play each other all the time, right? And then same with G2 Secret too, just good teams that play each other all the time. But yeah, no, I wouldn't say there are any real upsets at all so far, and I would say that's probably why I haven't been doing amazing on the predictions, is because I definitely either this was the pure hate watch, and it would have been an upset if Daystar won that, I would say. Um, and then this was like a very tight game. These two teams are always very tight between each other. Same with this as well. Furia beat Falcons earlier. And I remember saying in my video when I was talking about this matchup before it happened that we could have a case where the team that loses the first bout in a tournament, if they play each other again, the the team will win that time. The team that loses the first time, and that's what happened here. It was a much better played matchup for Falcons that time. And then yeah, I definitely predicted kind of the dark horse team here in Wildcard, and they just didn't win. They got closer than they ever have against FaZe before, I'd say. Even though they didn't win a map, it was two close maps compared to before when they played in Munich, where it was three maps. But I would say two of those maps weren't really very close. Um, and then yeah, down here, I missed a lot of these games as well because of I had class all day basically during these games, so I had to rewatch a lot of them, which is why I'm making this video now, the next day. Um, and then Secret Weibo, this was the one where I was like, I really wanted to go with Weibo, but I was like, bro, I have to get at least one right, and the history between these two teams is just Secret always wins, in typically pretty close games, with Secret just the better team. So at least we got the one, and then SSG versus Fluxo. I really thought SSG would be able to come in and apply what I talked about with Falcons earlier, and I apply that same thing here. Is they lost to W7M earlier in the tournament due to like small mistakes and a lot of throwing, to be honest. And that they'd be able to clean that up and take this matchup. And they did bring it to three maps, but it was almost close to W7M winning in two. When I went back to watch this game, that clutch attempt from Volps was that would have been generational if that went through. Um, for S for SSG's sake, it didn't, but it was just kind of rough. They barely squeaked out map two to bring that to map three, and then they just got shit on that map three. So yeah, pretty rough way to go out, I'd say, for SSG. Definitely better than their Munich performance. They went from dead last to top eight at least, which is certainly an improvement. But like SSG really like they got kind of blessed. Like, bro, they just get to farm NA teams, then they lose to the one NA team they never beat, and then they farm NA again, and as soon as they play a non NA team, they lose. So that's probably the biggest reason why I don't like SSG is because like they're good, but only against NA, and as soon as they don't play NA, they lose, um, which is really hard to watch sometimes because it's really annoying because I think they can be like a consistent like top four team at these events if they like lock in a little against these other non NA teams. Um, But yeah, let's move on to predictions for Friday. I'm probably going to be missing some of these games too. I have class all morning at like this starts at 6 a.m. So I'll be able to catch some of this probably if I wake up early enough. But I got class uh, all morning, pretty much into the afternoon during these matches. So thankfully they'll all be on one stream, and if we get like some three mappers, it'll take longer. So I'm praying we get a bunch of three mappers because I was really disappointed in the games yesterday that only one of them went to map three, and the one that went to map three was that third map was very short. Um, so first, we do secret wildcard. They played each other the most recent game in Munich in November. They did also play this year at Reload, but that was just we're not counting that event. That was a weird one. So they only played in a best of one, so it's not really much to go by. And it was on Border, and both these teams seem to like Border. They both been Secret is just they're a well known like good Border team, and then Wildcard have been playing a good amount of Border this event, with pretty good success for the most part. They did lose it, I believe, to FaZe. I think when they played it yesterday, I gotta I gotta go back and check. Actually, I'm pretty sure they played Border. I didn't watch this game, um, because like I said, it was in class. Okay, yeah, they did. They did play Border, and yeah, they lost it. But they've also had some good wins on Border this event. Um, but I kind of want to go with the trend here, and now just not like pick any of the upsets to be honest, because if I just pick like if you were picking these playoffs like just using like I would say just a little bit of like logic and what teams have been like statistically better this year, you would pretty much I would say you would probably have all of them or at least maybe one or two of these wrong, but you would probably have most of these predictions correct. Um, so yeah, secret for this one, I'm gonna go with that. Though I definitely think this can be a hard matchup for them. Wildcard have definitely been no joke this tournament. And I hope we get a good three mapper. And I'm not upset if either of these teams win. To be honest, I wish one of these teams was playing either Flux or Furia. Like we'd swap one of these teams out for the other because this next matchup is just something we've seen so many times this year that it's like honestly kind of embarrassing for Fluxo when we get to that. Um, so yeah, I really wish it was kind of swapped, but it's just kind of how the bracket was made. So it is what it is. Um, but yeah, it's pretty much this feels like I'll just vote it now and I'll get to it. So this pretty much feels like a free game for Furia because let's just look at it, bro. It's been brutal for W7M. And I know like, oh no, they're Flux. You could say, oh no, it's Fluxo W7M now, but it's the same team. They just had a branding change when they combined their org with Fluxo or whatever they did. Got a naming deal or something with them. But yeah, anyways, Furia literally own these guys. They have not lost a single matchup against them all year. Sometimes W7M, oh, they get a map, oh, they make you think they might win, and then they don't. And then one of the maps that W7M beat them on this year, so Skyscraper, is no longer in the pool. So they don't even have that to rely on anymore. Um, right? I think Chalet is a pretty good chance for W7M. It's a good map for both those teams, but with W7M's um, playstyle, I would argue it's even more aggressive than Furia's playstyle. That Chalet is a pretty good chance for them. Same with Border, but again, it's like both these teams' maps. They both like similar maps. To be honest, um, but Furia's map pool is deeper than W7M's, and it has been all year, which is the problem for W7M is like W7M have to run their permabans, and if they don't, Furia will just pick those and get free wins. So they have to play maps that they're both these teams are good on, but Furia is better than them on them still, right? Like they play so much. But yeah, like even then here, Furia beat them on Skyscraper the next time they played it, so it's not like it's even a perfect map for them. But right, if they go, if W7M let layer through. It's like a free win, right? The closer maps is like Bank, Chalet, Border, but Furia are still better than them on those maps. Um, I would almost, I don't know. I feel like I would almost risk letting a Cafe through in this matchup for W7M just to try it because like I don't think either of these teams really like that map very much. Um, but like yeah, as you can see, right? Both these teams, I'd say they let both like club a decent amount, but Fury just better on it. And then Border again, Fury just better on it. Chalet, Bank again, Fury just better. Club, so we should see that Bank. It's like Chalet, Border, Club, Border, Chalet, Sky, not in the pool anymore. Club, right? Border, and then but yeah, even Fury beat them on Cafe like really early. This was really early in the year, so that result we can just throw away probably. And most of these results really you can throw away. Um, besides like a couple like the recent ones, but yeah, like these teams, a lot of club, a lot of chalet, a lot of bank, a lot of border, right? So I kind of want to see W7 if they want to win this match. I think they have to try something different because they've done this shit so many times where they try to be better on Furia's like good maps, which are also good maps for W7M, but it's just not working. So I feel like they have to take a risk. Um, but I feel like they're too afraid to, and like you just have to pick Furia for this. It's kind of a troll if you don't. And then we have FaZe versus Falcons. This is kind of becoming a pretty classic matchup. They just seem to be the two best teams in the world, and they have been for feels like 2 years now, almost three. Um, but yeah, they've only played each other actually one time in 2025 after SI. Of course, these results are I'm pooling are only after the previous SI, so we're not including that one. So technically they played each other twice, but then they were BDS. So under Falcons, these two teams have only played each other a single time. It was in Munich, so pretty recent. Falcons did win this game, um, and the two maps they won were, you know, pretty pretty bad blowouts. FaZe did win the layer in this matchup, which was this was the layer specifically that convinced me that FaZe had become like a quite a good layer team because I didn't really think FaZe had it on layer like that before this, um, and I thought Falcons were way better on layer. And I remember after seeing this video, Vito and Falcons destroyed them on Chalet. I thought it would be a pretty swift 2-0. But FaZe really surprised me with the layer here and won it. But then they got stomped again on Nihilum Labs. So I think I think a good friend or just an interesting map, to be honest, for both these teams. I want to see. I want to see a Fortress in this matchup because FaZe have definitely been playing it a good amount, and I don't think Falcons have pulled out the Fortress yet. Oh no, they have. They got shit on it. But Falcons did not pick this Fortress. There is no way they picked Fortress. Yeah. So maybe Falcons do not want to play the Fortress, but they seem to be letting it through the ban phase. Because Decider here. Don't let it. They didn't let it through against Furia though. And then, oh no, we should be going this way. I'm just gonna check groups one more time. I don't believe they played Fortress in groups. No. Okay, no, they did play here. They also lost to the Wildcard, who have been a very good Fortress team. Okay, no, so they did play it one time, very close though, and then they played it one time in playoffs where they got completely ran through on it. To be honest, like 7-1, that's pretty brutal. So maybe Falcons don't want to play the Fortress, but they don't seem opposed to it being let through either. So that's why I think it could be an interesting map because I don't think they're 7-1 this bad on Fortress. I just think this is maybe for SR just a superior map for them. Um, I don't think FaZe are like the best Fortress team at this event either. They have lost it and had close games on it. To be honest, FaZe always have close games. They always have like ass clinchers. So yeah, and then I think we can definitely see a Chalet or a Layer again. I don't think FaZe let Labs through again. They just haven't been very good on it. Um, and Border and Cafe are also the really bad maps for FaZe. I think we could definitely see a Consulate and Club. Both of these teams like these maps. Um, Bank is definitely a possibility too. Both these teams are Bank enjoyers, so I think maps that will like certainly be banned. I would say Labs Border Cafe, um, for sure. I don't really see those getting through. I honestly, I don't think I wouldn't let FaZe have the club. I think club is like just an ideal map for FaZe, right? Where it's like allows them to play their really, just well structured siege at the highest level, and club is the perfect map for that. So I don't think Falcons should really let that through. Um, Consulate, I think both these teams like this map a lot. It's actually surprising to see it banned on the Falcon side because usually typically you expect them to. I expect them to play this map quite a good amount. And then yeah, we have the Chalet. Both these teams have been liking a lot um, throughout the year. I'd honestly say FaZe like it more now. Layer definitely a map, and then yeah, both these teams like Bank. Both these teams are willing to play Fortress, but I don't really have enough data to say if they like it or not. And then yeah, I would not think FaZe let Labs through again. I think it would be a hard, but I think it's hard for FaZe because honestly, they have like three maps here that I think they're like really not great on, which in at SI you can really only get away with having at most two permabans, and any more than that is where it gets hard. FaZe have been like right that their labs games some when they win it it doesn't look good, and when they lose it it looks really bad, right? Um, which is concerning for me because Falcons are really good on labs. Um, but these two teams are elite, right? So they could always come in with like FaZe could always come in with this crazy game plan and suddenly have like a amazing if Night Heaven Labs gets played in a potential series here, um, maybe they could have a good Night Heaven Labs game. But I feel like without like a strong game plan that is extremely effective against Falcons specifically, there's no way if a lab gets played in a series like that FaZe win. So I think for this series, we're gonna have the same result as Munich, where Falcons again they make the grand final through the upper bracket. And yeah, these are gonna be my predictions for Friday. And then after the games on Friday, I will try my best to be back with a video for predictions for Saturday's matches, and then the same will go for Sunday as well. Um, so yeah, if you watched all the way to the end, thank you and have a good one.